Everyone, good morning and welcome to Kick-Assery. I am continuing to try new things, and so I had a great suggestion from Jennifer Quinn the last time I sat down with her, and she's like, Dale, try to do an intro with just you on there. And I'm like, but I don't want to. So what is Kick-Assery? What are we doing? This is my opportunity to reach out to my ever-expanding network of people that I didn't realize I had until I really sat down and I looked at it. And I am now sitting down and having these conversations. This is not an interview series. This is an opportunity for me to have a conversation with some amazing people and get some really good nuggets of information out of these people. And I get to brag on them as well. Who do I have on today? Today I have Colleen Strube. I'm going to let her do her intro here in just a second and give her elevator pitch. But we're going to try a couple new things today and just see how this works. So, Colleen, good morning. Who are you? What do you do?
Hey, Dale. Thanks for having me on. What do? I love to connect with people. My passion is really helping other people grow their business. And I do that through networking and connecting with people, just a way to help them connect to other people and resources. I love to help them develop those relationships and skills they need so that they can exceed in their business and life. One of the things I found is people they struggle with networking. They don't know where to go network as part of the problem. There's so many different places and they don't know where to start. And then when they get to a networking event, they find out they don't know what to say to help be engaged and engage with other people. And then most importantly, and everybody will say is, of course, the fortune is in the follow-up. They have a hard time figuring out how to follow up with people and what to do. So my passion is really to help people succeed in those areas.
Awesome. Well, right off the bat, we have Summer that's saying, good morning, Colleen. Welcome to the crew.
Hey, Summer.
Real quick, I got to let everybody know. So when I first moved to Maryland, I met Colleen. I believe it was at a BNI meeting.
Probably.
I think that's where we met. And the thing that I respect so much about Colleen, and she helped me, is that as a military family, we move around, and I love networking and I love getting into knowing people. And so the BNIs and the chamber events and all that, that's one of the best ways I've found for me to get integrated into a community. But the other thing that I learned is that you also need to find the Colleens of every community. And you got to find the people. And Colleen is probably one of the most networked person I've ever met, because she knows pretty much anyone in any networking group anywhere in the stinking state. And I really appreciate you, Colleen, kind of taking me under your wing and introducing me to a lot of people and befriending me and helping me out. Man, that I really, really appreciate. Seriously.
Yeah, you're so welcome, Dale. That's what I love to do. That's how I feel I give back, and nothing warms my heart to hear somebody, mention, hey, thanks so much for letting me know about this event, because it changed my life, it changed my business. It's just what I love to do. So, and I don't know quite everybody, but I'm working on it. So if I don't know you yet, connect with me.
There you go. And the thing that I also really respect about you, Colleen, is you take a genuine interest in other people. You take a genuine interest in their story and what they're doing. And you and I have had this conversation, I don't know how many times, is that you have this passion to help people. You have this passion to connect with them and get their story out or their product out, and connect them with people. And that's the thing that I love about networking, is that if we keep our heads on and we pay attention, we can connect businesses and people and organizations, and the outcome is amazing. And you're just like the queen of that.
Thanks. Yeah, I think connection is really key. I think that's, more and more I look at things, and I look at, the world in general, and how, if we all connected a little bit more with each other, that that would change the world. If we were, felt more connected to other people, that we could then, it'd be much harder to really, diss somebody or make them angry, or, just say, oh, I don't care about that person, if you had a connection with them already.
Right. Absolutely. So how do you go? Okay. So when you walk into a room and there's 10 people, there's 500 people, doesn't matter. So when you go into a room, do you go in with a goal in mind? Do you have an outcome already in your mind of what you want to accomplish when you come out of that networking? Or do you go in and say, all right, whatever happens, happens?
For me, a little bit of both. So I know, when I go in, my goal is really to make a new connection with someone. So maybe, connect to somebody I haven't connected before, or, when I go to an event where I do, I know other people, and maybe I bring somebody new with me. My goal is to connect that person to somebody else in the room, that they could talk to. So I know for people, when you go to networking events, yes, you should have a goal of, go in there. But the goal shouldn't be, I'm going to go in there and make a sale. So many, and you've probably heard that from a lot of people, is that, your goal is to go make a connection, not necessarily a sale. The sale will come. And sometimes it does come that day, but typically it's more about you making a connection with somebody, building that relationship over time. And then the sale is the natural thing that happens when you've solved their problem that they need. And you only know what their problem really is until you get to know them better.
Right. I absolutely agree with that. I used for a long time the hunting versus farming mentality of networking.
Mm-hmm.
When you're a hunter, you go with very single-minded purpose, and you're going to nail that one client, that one sale, and that's
Right.
it. You're getting that one thing. You're going to use all of this energy to get one thing. Versus when you're farming, you're going to plant seeds. You ask anybody that's been around me for very long, I use that term all the time. Hey,
Yeah.
I had this thought. I want to plant a seed. I'm sure you've heard me say that a dozen times.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to plant this seed. Here's a thought, in going into networking, and say, I'm just planting seeds. I'm getting to know people, and going with Colleen to take me to whatever, and introducing me to people. And how often, though, do you see people that you introduce to networking that have either they're new to business, they're new to sales, or they're new to the networking mentality, meaning that going from the hunting to the farming mentality? How often do you see those people, they're just overwhelmed, or they're just like, they're so far out of their element, they're just like, I don't know what shit to do?
Yeah, a lot of times, or people go in and they think they know what they're doing, and they go in and they're like, and we've learned this through a lot of different areas, but they'll go in and they'll say, oh yeah, I want to help anyone that has skin, or I want to help anybody, and I'm like, oh my God. And I never used, like, I'm a very nurturing person, so
Right.
normally I don't, I try not to prejudge people, and I'm like, oh no, that's horrible. I typically won't say that to people.
Right.
But as I'm coming into the reality that, yeah, I do have some knowledge in this area, after 16 years of networking and doing it multiple times a day, sometimes 5 days a week, people need to understand that they could improve on what they're doing out there. And that's one of the things that I find is, people, when they go out there, kind of like that they're kind of farming, but they're doing it in the spreading, they're just throwing the seeds everywhere and hoping that one will pop up, instead of being a little more specific, what they're doing, so that that I can help them. And that's, I guess I'm really kind of being selfish about it, in the sense of, I want to be able to help somebody. And if you tell me that anyone or anybody is a good referral for you, my brain can't get there.
No, it's not.
You need to give me something so that somebody pops into my head, or I can look at my phone and go, oh, you need to talk to Mary, because Mary could use your service, or Mary's a great strategic partner for you. So as I'm starting to, do some workshops and trainings and things like with people, that's where we're going to be working, is to kind of help them, massage that infomercial, the 30-second, the elevator speech, so that they're really talking more about the problem they're solving, who they're helping, and be able to really get some more information, so that after they, stand up for 30 seconds at a networking event, that somebody wants to come over and talk to them, because that's the goal. I mean, really, that's the goal when you go to a networking event, is, to be able to have somebody come up to you and say, I want to learn more. That's not, not I'm ready to buy. In 30 seconds, you can't do that. But you could certainly get somebody to say, I need to learn more.
Absolutely. You just nailed it. You absolutely nailed it. All right, guys, we're trying something new here today. If you loved what Colleen just said, please share this. Please send this out. Share this to either your personal line or share it to somebody that you know that what Colleen just said just knocks it out of the park. So please share that. And then comment also that you shared it for me. Here's the thing. I remember, I can't even count how many times, Colleen, I've sat in a networking meeting or been at a large networking event where you have the opportunity for 10, 15 seconds to pitch yourself, right? And you are 150% correct. The thing that drives me batshit nuts is when you just said it, is that, yeah, I'm looking for somebody that, like a car guy. I'm looking for somebody that has a car. How does that prompt me to go into my mental Rolodex or put me top of mind? And I remember talking a lot about TOMA, top of mind awareness. And networking is all about top of mind awareness, is getting in front of these people and touching them over and over, not sick like that, but over and over and over again, and saying the right messages like you're saying, and being specific about what you do, how you can help, what you're specifically looking for. And, there was a great study done a number of years ago that, it used to be it took 7 touches for someone to go from oblivious to becoming a customer of yours when it comes to marketing. Now it's over 21 touches because of
that's
our
amazing.
society, right? 21 touches. And so if you're in the networking side, where that is the majority of your marketing or a good chunk of it, you need to be touching these people and being in front of them and saying the same message with the same content and being, what's the word I'm looking for? Honest. No. Genuine. That's the word I'm looking for. Genuine.
Yeah. I think I read that, or maybe heard it even from you, I think. And I'm like, wow, that's a lot of touches now. But people don't realize it's, a touch is more than, it's a phone call, it's an in-person meeting, it's an email, it can be a card, it can be, a social media touch. This is touching, you see them in a video, you see them on a Facebook Live. So it's not like, oh my God, I have to meet with this person 21 times before, I've made an impact. You just need to be more consistent, because we're just bombarded with so much information.
Right.
And you're right, staying top of mind, right? And there's another one called tomato, top of mind through others.
Ooh,
so
I like that.
So when you think of a little tomato there, so
I love that. I'm going to steal that, just letting you know.
There we go.
So, okay, so you have taken, all right, I didn't realize that you had 16 years of networking under your belt. So you have just embarked on another chapter of this journey, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
So you are now working on, so you're going beyond just helping people face-to-face network. What are you working on now?
So for the last, I'll give you a little bit of background on the 16 years. So we started to talk a little bit, is 16 years ago, if you can kind of guess what year that was, 2001, right? So I was working in the IT field, was my background. So, but I knew I wanted to do some type of consulting. So I loved working with individuals. I was really great with being able to, work with people on the shop floor and communicate to people in the boardroom, kind of do that connection between everybody. And so I was working, and I attended my first BNI meeting. So, and it was a Tuesday morning in September when I attended. And when I came out of that meeting, the world had changed because it was September 11th was the day that I did that. And I was rushing up to Hagerstown for another meeting and just listening to what was happening in the world on the radio. And I'm like, this can't be true. And of course, I'm in the Baltimore, Washington, D.C. area. So we kind of got really kind of hit. We're in a bubble here. And, everybody's like, oh my God, things were going on and nobody knew what was going on. And we realized that, the next week, I'm like, I have to go back to this meeting. I'm not sure why, really. I knew everybody there was okay, but I felt like I was drawn back to these people, back to this meeting. So that's what really started my journey in BNI, which kind of changed my whole networking journey, and learning more how to network and be connected with people and really get involved. And I don't know that I would have gone back to BNI if that event didn't happen. But looking back, that was kind of the turning point of my networking journey. I was working for an IT company in Bethesda. The whole IT field in this area kind of imploded. They closed. So now I was kind of thrown into, okay, now what? What can I do? And I started just networking more. I took a job with the Frederick Chamber, worked for them for a while, with membership sales and doing things like that. And I just found that this was my passion, teaching and training people and connecting with people. And that was the journey. That's been the journey. Through BNI and through networking, I found a tool called Send Out Cards, which you know very well. And so I've been using that. It's a great follow-up tool. But I realized with all what I was doing that I'm not just a Send Out Cards person. I'm just not that tool. And I've never really been. I've always networked more. I've always done more of that. I was an ambassador for BNI. So I got a chance to do that. I worked also for the Mount Airy Chamber. So it was like really networking and connecting was more, is my thing. So that's where I've kind of finally owned that and said, okay, look, this is where I need to step up. I need to be more of an expert in my area, which I've been doing with networking. And then I think when I was a little girl, I always wanted to be a teacher. It's one of the things. So I'm like, it's time. It's time to start really helping people take their business to the next level. So that's where I've kind of created Connect, Develop, Succeed, which is just kind of my business name, where I talk about connecting people to other people and resources so they could develop those relationships and skills. And with that, I'm starting into doing some more workshops and really getting people to the next level. Because when it comes to follow-up, most of the time, people know they need to do it. We all want to do it. We all know that it's a thing, but we just get busy with all the rest of the stuff that we let it fall. It's the thing that tends to get put on the back burner. And part of the reason is because people don't have a system to do it. So one of the things I'm working on and helping people is actually to create that system for them and with them so that it's not the thing that gets put on the back burner.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And I'm so stinking proud of you for doing this, because how many times have we sat and talked about, this or Send Out Cards or whatever else. And it's been a amazing journey to watch you to go from we've known each other for what, 4 years maybe ish?
Yeah, 4 or 5. So time flies when
time flies, and because I've not known you the entire journey. I've just known you in this last chapter of it. And I'm so stinking proud of you, and I'm so excited to see your workshops develop and your program develop. And it's going to be, you're just going to freaking rock it. I know it is, because this is what you are good at. This is what you are amazing at.
So it's just kind of, and you've even, you've helped me a lot of times that we've had conversations and talked, and you're like, just go do it. And now it's like, okay, I'm going to do it. I've been working with, a lot of different coaches in different areas, and just, got to the point where it's time to
Right.
do it.
So Summer has, Summer says she definitely struggles with follow up and she's going to work on it. So for those of us who aren't right there with you, who can't utilize you directly, what is a couple pieces of advice you can give us for follow up for our either networking businesses or just sales businesses or whatever? Can you give us one or two little things that we can work on?
Yeah, sure. And the cool thing is I'm going to do the workshops virtually. So,
Oh, okay,
yeah,
cool.
yeah. So they'll be, so we're going to do them through Zoom calls and Facebook groups and things like that. So, and then we'll also have, we're also looking kind of like an intro, kind of like a virtual networking thing too, so that we can do. So, but a couple tips, I tell people we were talking about being specific. And also being different. So one of the cool ideas that people don't do is, we're coming out of 2017, we're coming into 2018, and a lot of people sent holiday cards. Or maybe they didn't send holiday cards or made holiday connections just because they're like, oh no, can't do that. It's too costly, whatever. And so what I really teach my clients is to be different. If you're going to do it, especially like right now, we're kind of late for Valentine's Day because it's Wednesday, right? So all you guys out there, make sure you at least text the woman, So
It's a made up holiday. It's a made up holiday.
There we go. It's a made-up holiday, but you can. That's the cool thing about it, right? You can do whatever you want with the holidays, right? So I've coached a couple of my clients. We actually sent last year a lot of St. Patrick's Day cards out to people, and just telling people we were so lucky to have them as a client, our customer. So reach out to your clients when they don't expect it. Is something you can do to really. We talk about being top of mind with people.
How do you have any suggestions to help us stay more consistent? When we go to a conference or we do an email campaign or we go to a networking event, we gather, a half a dozen cards. The right answer is I should go back to my office, sit down, enter the cards, and just do my shit. But life happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever. So how can you help me be more consistent or keep that top of mind for myself to say, no, this is an integral part of my business?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just trying to figure out maybe a good time of day to do it for yourself. So,
schedule it in.
Yeah, scheduling it. And I do the same thing. So, I mean, everybody out here, we all are stuck in the same, kind of thing. But the thing that, people are like, well, how do you remember? I'm like, I don't know. It's just up here, but most people need some type of system to put it in. So like you were saying, when you meet somebody, get that business card, put it in something, whether it's as simple as a spreadsheet, or even, when we were in B&Is, we had, business card binders or books, keep them somewhere so that they're all together, and then put them in, I've been working on a couple other tools that I've been working with to kind of automate some of that and be able to really give that system in place. So,
awesome.
And, working with people, and there's lots of different tools out there. So, I won't say that I know the best tools. I know, I'm creating that system now for people. And every time, someone says, oh, try this tool, I try something new. And I love picking up software packages, from my IT background. I guess it was, that was one of the things. Oh, do you know how to do this? No, but give me the software. Let me look at it, kind of thing.
I've never met anyone that has spent as much time and money on these programs as you have. And I'm not saying that is a bad thing. I'm saying that has given you a great depth of knowledge on what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah.
And if someone says, well, what about I don't know, whatever. I can't think of any of them off the top of my head. Most likely
Yeah, I've
Colleen's
heard of
used
it.
it.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah, I've
either
heard
bought
it,
it and
used
went
it.
through the trainings or something. And as you were talking, it brought up a thing that I used to do when I was doing a lot of printing. And when I would counsel people who were doing a lot of networking, face-to-face networking, when they designed their business cards, I always try to get people to design their business cards with enough blank space on the back side of their card so that they can write notes on it.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I used to do, and I would get other people to do as well, is that if I'm in a networking group, I wouldn't just hand my card to them. If someone asked for my contact info, or if I was given the, to do that exchange, I would try very purposefully to flip that card over and write, hey, we're going to have coffee on this day, or we talked about this thing, or whatever, because I know for a fact I can go to a networking event and collect 20 cards. But by tomorrow, when I sit down to look through those cards again, they're just cards because I've completely forgotten the context through the interaction. And by writing that little note on the cards, I'm able to go, oh, that's right. They do this thing. We talked about this.
Yeah, I do that too. If I go to a networking event, I always make a note to my, the date it was, what the event was, and then, like you said, if there's a conversation that we had or something we need to do, make a note on that. So that, like you said, the next day or when you pick that card up again, you're like, oh yeah, I remember.
Right. And I don't have it anymore, but I used to have a 3-inch binder, back in the day when I lived in Boise. I did as much networking as you do. I mean, I probably went in a week's time. I went to probably anywhere from 5 to 8 networking events a week, and that didn't include the chamber stuff that I did. And I literally had a 3-inch binder because I was part of probably 5 different networking groups, plus a bunch of other stuff. Not as much as you, but a crap ton. And I actually had every one of those networking events tabbed in that binder, and I kept track of it. And I kept notes, and I had, follow-up notebooks upon notebooks upon notebooks of notes of interactions. And it was an insane amount of work, but I'll tell you, and you probably are the same way. You probably get calls daily from people looking for help connecting with someone.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about you, I would guess, but for me, I didn't make a dime off those phone calls. But guess what? Going back to Toma, top of mind, right? Is that if they were calling me for another issue, guess what? They were thinking of me. They weren't thinking of anybody else. They were thinking of me.
Yeah.
And that was a win for me.
Yeah. And I there's people out there who hate networking. It's just like, we're just two of a kind. I love it. Like you said, it's all about, that connecting and doing that. So
absolutely.
And yeah, the income, the sales, they might not come from that person you're talking to, but it comes from the 250, 300 people that they know. Somebody in their network is going to need that service. So
absolutely.
And,
and the term that I always used, and Colleen, correct me if you disagree, is relational sales. That's the term that I've always used for networking, is relational sales. Is you're building relationships for you for. And I used to use this analogy all the time with hardcore salespeople, that non-networkers. They're the hunters. They're going to go out. They're going to nail their prey, and they're going to move on, And what I've experienced with those guys and women, is that they burn out of their client base pretty quick.
Right.
They're not cultivating. They're not farming. You reap more than you sow. And I used to have this debate with this dude. He was a telephone, like hardwired telephone salesperson, right? And he used to come into our cell phone shop back in the day when we had the cell phone shop. And I was like, okay, first off, you're trying to sell a cell phone shop a hardwired phone system. okay, but he and I used to get in a debate all the time. He's like, no, if you're not going to buy from me, I'm done with you. I'm moving on. I'm like, okay, but you just burned that bridge. Is that
Yeah.
I may not want something, but I have a network of people. You just said it. I have a network of people that may need it. And so if you build this relationship with me, don't just wipe your hands on me, but if you build this
Right.
relationship with me, when they're ready, guess what? I know a dude. I know a guy, right? And I used to get in this debate with him all the time. And you know what I noticed over the years is that he went from telephone company to telephone company to telephone company because he would burn his client base,
Right.
either sell them or not, and then he would jump to another company. So then that way he could go back to his client base and burn it again. And
Yeah.
that's what those guys do is they just bounce from company to company to company and or product to product to product, and they're burning the same client
Mhm.
base, So
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah. You use relationship sales. I use relationship marketing. So it's
there you go.
yeah, which is it's about building that relationship, marketing to those clients and providing value.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. You know what? I promised you we'd hold it at about 30 minutes. We're right about there all time.
Oh my goodness.
It's been half an hour already.
How many long conversations have we had before, right?
Oh my gosh. And I miss that, Colleen.
Oh, I know.
I totally miss us sitting down at Frederick Coffee Company or over at Baltimore or wherever
Mhm.
and just sitting down at Wegmans. How many times do we sit at Wegmans and fix all the
Yeah.
problems of the world, right? Uh, totally miss that. I totally miss your energy. I totally miss your optimism. And it's funny though is the other day I was thinking about this when you and I were conversing back and forth to set this
Mhm.
up. I was like, I also remember times when you would ask me a question, Dale, what do you think about this? And I tell you, and you're like, I don't like that. I don't like that. Go fly a kite. Screw
No,
you.
no, not doing that, Dale.
But here's the thing, though, is that it's okay. I mean,
Mhm.
I said stuff. You're just like, Dale, no, not happening. Not gonna do it. Whatever. And I'm like, okay, all right, cool. You asked me my question, and you come back for more, and I'm like,
Yeah, of
okay,
course.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So, but I appreciate you. Everybody else, please take a moment, share it. Colleen is a wealth of knowledge, seriously a wealth of knowledge. Share this broadcast, and that way we can grow this, we can grow her. Colleen, when we're all finished, would you please put your contact info in the comments? Go ahead
Sure.
and throw a comment in with your
Yep.
contact info
Yep.
for both you personally, if you choose to, and also for your business as well. Everybody else, I really appreciate it. Colleen, is there anything you want to end this with? Any last pieces of knowledge? Lottery numbers, whatever you want to,
Yeah.
share.
No, I think, I'd have to, keep those, so we can build, we want to build a big indoor sportsplex someday.
There you
So,
go. I'm
yeah. So,
stoked for that.
yeah.
The
So
other
for
thing
the,
is also though is I got to come and visit because I want to ride your husband's Bentley one of these days just to say
oh,
that I was
yeah.
in a
Yeah.
Bentley.
There. Yeah.
They
Have
own
to.
a Bentley.
So, he's a car guy. He works super, super hard. So out there, doing construction in this kind of cold weather and stuff. So,
Yep.
super appreciate him. And, he's a family guy. He takes really good care of his family.
Good.
So,
Good. Good. Good.
yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, Colleen. I appreciate it. Stay with me. Don't close this out.
All right.
Everybody
Well, do.
else, thank you. Thank you,
Thanks,
Colleen.
guys. Connect with you guys soon.
Real do. Hey, everyone else, thanks for hanging out with Kickassery. This Thursday, just give you a heads up, this Thursday, I'm doing a Q&A section. I really kind of want to know your guys' thoughts and opinions on what's going on with Kickassery, kind of throw out some ideas I've been having and have an open dialogue with that. You guys, I'm trying a new format as well where I'm doing it it's a talk show format here on Be Live where I can invite whoever wants to be on here. So we're going to try a little bit of that on Thursday as well. But more importantly, thanks everyone. I really appreciate you. Keep rocking out your day. Keep smiling. Please share this out as well. And yeah, awesome time with Colleen. Guys, take care.